I hope you are hearing and listening well, listening and watching it well. So, welcome to this new week. And this week we start with the emotional aspect in the constellation of Virgo. So, basically, to begin with this, the question would be, what are the emotions? I wrote today in the blog uh, something about it so you could have a bit of the information of what an emotion is. Most of all, let's remember that we are under Virgo constellation, so this is why we are analyzing the emotions. So we are not here in this month to um, to feel, to go to the world of dreamings, but to analyze. Okay. So if there is people that maybe you see me like if I am tired, is because here it's 20:30 p.m. And 8:30 p.m. and I woke up at 7 a.m. So for me it's like very late. So I finish with this and I go to sleep, basically like that. So let's go to understand the mental aspect of the emotion and why this aspect and not just to feel it. Because once you understand the basements of what something is, then you can handle it. So this happens basically with everything in our lives, that until we don't recognize the the aspects of what we are living, what we are experiencing, we cannot really handle that, and we cannot um, work with that or transform or take some benefit from it. So before we go to see how it's gonna be useful, how we are gonna do it, etc., we have to understand the basis of what it is. In order to understand this, we will go with the question of today, which is, what is emotions? In order to do so, we have to go to the etymology of the word. And emotion means movement. It comes from the Latin word that means to move forward. It comes from ex, that means to go out, and motio, which is the movement. So basically, the emotion is a reaction of movement. So how do we feel an emotion? What is an emotion? From outside, we receive pulses of energy. Okay, the movement of everything, the energy that is around starts to push itself towards us, and that creates a switch of energy inside our body that tries to balance with the energy outside, and it creates like this movement of energy towards the inside in positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, creating a chain of reaction. So this chain starts to move the molecules, and the molecules creates a chemical reaction, and this chemical reaction creates makes the hormones to come out of the glands, and from the glands, these hormones starts to change the reaction of chemistry in our body, that through the pulses we receive that information in the neurons in our brain, and is processed as an emotion, as the idea of an emotion. So the emotion that keeps going and I integrate as something common in my life, we call that a feeling, not an emotion. We call that a feeling. An emotion is a discharge of energy, a pulse of energy in just one moment. And the feeling is an emotion that is moving constantly, is this energy moving constantly through time. So what are emotions? Basically, emotions are just, all the emotions that we have are just the magnetical or electrical reactions within our bodies. So I have heard a lot of people saying you shouldn't be always in your mind and thinking about this with your mind. You just have to silence yourself and feel with your heart. But what's the problem with that? It's just that you are just feeling the pulse. And of course, you have to feel, because is the main idea. We have to feel, but you have to understand what are you feeling. Basically, when someone says to you, don't think much, just feel, it's exactly the same as saying, hey, go and swim in the ocean, and someone push you from the deck of the boat to the ocean, and you scream, but I don't know how to swim. Doesn't matter, just try to flow. And of course, you know what would happen if you don't know how to swim. Of course, that when you know how to swim, when you know the currents, you know the waves, you know the sea, just by going inside the water, you learn, you already know how to float and how to flow, okay? And there's no even need to swim. You just go and you feel the ocean. But first, to do that, you needed to learn what is the ocean, the currents, everything. It's so easy, like learn how to swim. So in order to learn how to swim in the emotions, I need to learn what is the water, how the water moves, and how can I move within the water. So if we now know that emotion means movement, so we can relate every one of the motion with a wave in our inner ocean. So we have to learn how this inner ocean is moving. And this is why we have to acknowledge what is our relationship with this ocean. What we have to think about is, how do I relate myself with that ocean, with that sea? Do I rather go to the mountains and don't see the sea? Or I rather go to the beach and watch the sea? Or I rather swim in the sea? Or I rather sail in the sea? So there are many ways to be related with the emotion. So first of all, I must recognize from which perspective I watch these emotions. And once I do that, I can start by working. I can start with the work of understand how do I relate with that, and how can I use that relation that I have with the sea. So it's very difficult, it's very different when we are a person that was born to sail, and if you were a person that was born to go to the mountains and see the ocean from the mountains. Because usually what we try to do is to teach everyone how to sail. But if you weren't born to that, so you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to know how to handle that situation. So this is why it's so important to see myself, which position I take with emotions. The example of the sea is just an example. Don't think now that, oh, I love the sea. No, it's not the sea. I'm talking about emotions. It's just an example. So I just have to picture the ocean as emotions. Don't think that if you like the sea is because you're more emotional. No, it's not like that. It's just an example. What you have to do is to imagine that this ocean is all your emotions, and that you are there, and picture yourself in which position you find yourself in relation with the sea. So this is something specific to help yourself to understand how to start to work with emotions from your own perspective. We usually want the others to learn from the same point of view that we have, but each one of us has a different point of view of how to work with emotions. And there is one of these point of views that for some people is helpful, but I wouldn't recommend it, which is to try to handle the emotions, not to handle, to control the emotions. Sometimes we have this idea that in order to take control of your life, you have to control your emotions. So if the emotion is the energy of your being, by controlling your emotions, you will reach to work better with your own self, to create new realities. Let's take the example of the sea. Okay, nobody can control the sea. It's impossible to control the sea. The only thing that you are able to do with the sea is to learn how to swim or how to sail. So you take the benefit of the energy of the sea so you can move through the ocean. So this is basically what we have to do to learn to swim or to sail in this wave of energy. Remember that that what we have been doing all this week was to move, to see the reality from the mind as a vibration. And this vibration now, it's going to turn into energy, the movement, okay? So this movement is the one that creates the emotions. So basically what we have to do with emotions is to understand that they are going through us. They are vibration, these waves. So what we have to do is to just learn how to flow with them and let them flow so they don't get stuck inside of us. This is our job, to realize that emotions are like the water of the sea flowing through us. So what we have to do is not to stop the flow of the water, to control the water. What we have to do is to create the perfect path for the water to flow. So the only way you can balance the emotional level is by the intention of the mind. So the mind is the one that can put the intention to order the vibration to show a path for this water. We cannot say that we are here to live from the heart or to live from the mind. Both of them need each other very, very deeply. They are one. So let's remember about the main concept that we said about emotion. That emotion is the reaction of an impulse of energy that is coming from the outside towards the inside. how can I change something in the outside so when it comes to me, it doesn't affect me in the negative way? How can I do that without modifying the external world? The only way is just by changing my perception of the outside world. So for example, when I watch something in the news, maybe corruption, there is a news in corruption, and it gets to me with anger. So I feel anger because I'm looking into that. So when I change my perception of what is that, when I see these people and then I say, well, they do that because they don't know what they are doing. And then I change my own perception of the reality, saying to myself, I'm not that, so I can be free from that, so I can maybe help for it to change. And I change my perception about everything. I start to think about the ideas of the world and so on. Suddenly, I feel more pity than anger. So every time that I will hear about corruption, won't bring me anger, will bring me pity. I don't know. So I am going up in consciousness. So just by changing the perception of the outer world, I change the emotion in the inner world. The emotion is just a reaction of the outer world. So by changing the idea of the outer world, the perception of it, you just change the sea within. This is why we go to the basis that in order for us to help our emotions to move properly within our body, what we have to do is to go back to the mind and change our ideas of everything around us. So this is why, for example, when I was angry about something and suddenly I discover the origin of that situation that makes me angry, suddenly I feel compassion. Or when I am frustrated by something, I was mad with someone, and then we talk and I forgive, or someone forgives me, suddenly I feel compassion, I feel love. The emotion changes just because I changed my idea. So basically, to know how to sail in this ocean is basically to look into the horizon, to look beyond, and to guide myself with the compass towards my own north. And that north is here. The vision is here, where I'm going, where I'm heading to. We can picture that the body is like the boat. Then the sailor is here in the third eye. And then in the plexus and the heart, the water is breaking, okay? Constantly when you're moving ahead. So I guess that this is kind of the idea of what I wanted to explain today. So the task for today is to write down, maybe just in a paragraph, your idea of what, your beliefs of what emotions are for you, and from where do you watch the emotions. So the vibration of today is fa. It's like blowing. It's not It's not F sound. It's not fa. It's fa. The statement for today is I am the divine spark. So the sound is um, to blow for the fire to begin. Okay, that's why the spark. The code of today is the spiritual pattern Ya. It's not the letter Y, it's Ya. It says, the expansion of the universal mind includes all possible concepts and dimensions. The letter Y represents the diagram of all the ideas and concepts that resides in all dimensions of time and space. Its sound is the vibrational referent of the interdimensional pattern. All beings are built by all dimensions at the same time. None can reside in only one of them, for all are them. Just if you watch me that I am like kind of slow today and weird, is because 2 days ago I had like a stress peak. I don't know how to say it. Not my mind, not my soul. My emotion and mind are fine, but the body got a. So I had like this hard I don't know how to say it in English, but like kind of collapse of stress, uh, because I'm not used. My body is not used to be always in the same spot, and it feels that it's not doing anything. This is why I'm trying to make everything so slow, even speaking. Let's focus. Okay. So we start caressing the body, very soft, each part of your body. I give thanks to my body for being here and now. For being the receptor of all the emotions. And I start to relax, taking my own time, deep breathing, and focus in my breathing. With my imagination, I bring the oxygen through my nose to the lungs, heart, blood, organs, and muscles. I allow myself to feel the heat within my body and how it goes out through my skin towards every direction. I feel that this heat and energy all around me makes me feel like I am deep in between something, and I feel the waves of this energy moving me around, and I allow myself to softly move and be pushed by this water of emotion. I start to recognize that I am inside the ocean, below the sea, surrounded by water. As it moves me, moves my body softly in every direction. I feel the peace of being inside the water of the ocean, being embraced by it. I recognize that I am here and now, below my sea of emotions. And above, I can feel the light of the sun irradiating over the water. Take a deep breath. Take deep breath and start to go up, feeling that your crown is going out softly through the water, feeling the air in your head, in your hair, only in your crown. I move my hands and allow myself to feel the water, the emotion moving around, while my crown is enlightened by the light of the sun. Take a deep breath and start to feel how the light starts to turn on in your crown, irradiating the crown chakra, reflecting the light of the sun. So I start to blow, activating the spark, the divine spark in me. I feel the fire get enlightened in my head as I blow. I feel like if my crown is an island in the middle of the ocean, and the spark I am activating starts to enlight the fire as a volcano. I recognize I am the divine spark. I am the divine spark. I am the divine spark. And is this spark of divinity that activates the motion of my whole ocean of emotion. Take deep breath. I take my hands to my heart. I become aware that all these emotions that are surrounding me and within me are part of this ocean from which I am part. And within me, I can find the divine spark to activate the movement, the coherence, balance of this ocean. I am the divine spark. I am the divine spark. I am the divine spark. From your heart, start to caress your body. And from now on, become fully aware of this ocean that is around you. And I come back here and now. So from now on, just be responsible, acknowledging that you have a big ocean around you. So now, when you walk around daily, just picture that the waves are all around everything, and as if everything is inside an ocean. So you can feel the connection with everything that is around you and how it affects you. So we do this little exercise and the task of writing down what are our perception and beliefs of emotions. Have a good night, rest, and see you tomorrow at the same time. See you tomorrow.